What up, everybody out there in podcast land? Thank you for tuning in yet again to another episode of Kane and Ross Present, the Yeah I Said podcast. We are expressing with our full capabilities to they might want us in correctional facilities. Brain child of my child. I'm the dad half of this operation. Ross Cooper, as always, rocking with the best. My co-host, introduce yourself to the folk.
My life is fast and furious. Paul Walker until I crash and burn. Yeah, well, what's good, everybody? Hope everybody's having a good day, month, year, hour, second, minute, all that good stuff. If you're watching on all other platforms, please share with your friends, family, enemies, pets, all that good stuff. If you're watching on YouTube, please like, share, comment, subscribe to all that good stuff. Because if you don't, you're going to get 25 feet of snow like I got.
Yo, legit, it's snowing up there, yo.
Ooh, big storm coming. Man, the only storm that is really coming is for the ants. I'm sure the ants are going through it right now. But everybody else is
Is it cold? Is it cold though?
it's typical.
All right,
It's
by
not.
Maryland standards, is it cold? You know,
Maryland standards cold, not Buffalo or Canada or something cold. Nah,
well, Drake wouldn't say it's cold. Got it.
he probably was. Like, go ahead.
See, there you go. There you go.
In the six, and I'm cold.
How do we end up here already? Okay, all right. We. Woo. Okay, so what's up, everybody out there? Yeah, it's been we literally have been talking for a good 15 minutes before we even started this. It's a lot going on. It's a few interesting trends we've noticed, and it's like, wow, it wouldn't be right of us to touch on some of it. So we'll start on the interesting part. For those of you who are keeping score at home and remember our show from a couple years ago, the African Joker, the saga of Jussie Smollett, aka Juicy Smooyay, if you pay attention to Dave Chappelle, has come to a very interesting close. Apparently, well, not apparently, he has been sentenced to 150 days in jail, and like a good stretch of probation. And then he mentioned, like, something happened to me. It wasn't suicide. Okay, all right. So I'm gonna rewind time and take this back. Um, I was not one of the people that was questioning. I was riding with it because I know a lot of folk that was like, "What do you mean? That smelled funny from the beginning." Not to me, and props to him, I guess, and his weird ass PR team. They played right into the climate of MAGA, and he had a noose around his neck and da 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 da, and he fought back, and I'm the gay Tupac, and I'm like, then it comes.
Once he said that, it was a lie.
But see, that was where the eyebrow raise came from. Because that is for me, like, Pac was a bit of a revolutionary. He had revolution in his blood. He backed Black Panther doctrine and so on and so forth. And I'm like, but Jussie, you're not a revolutionary, to my knowledge. Then the story starts unraveling. And yeah, I'm gonna let you guys do a little homework and Google the whole thing. The part I'm stuck at to this moment still, and maybe it's not so much that I'm stuck, but I'm in denial. I can't tell. Why? Like why? Even the judge was like, "You wasn't broke, so what? Why?" And is the answer really, "I want more attention"? Like, no, you can't be that dumb.
Yes, you can. In this climate, cloud is
Yeah.
Yeah, they talk about opioids and all this other stuff and fentanyl and blah blah blah, but cloud is a huge freaking drug. It's the worst
Apparently
one.
so. There are people legitimately, especially in what started off as the YouTube era and now has gone to the social media era in general. Like, I didn't realize we have YouTube to thank for Justin Bieber. I had no idea. And that is a serious case of for lack of a better term, social media going right. Like that's what you want to have happen. You start your own channel, you put your own music out there, you get quote unquote discovered, and boom, you're Justin Bieber. You're a believer and all of that. But way too many of us think that's going to be us. And we have this thing, I think, scarily enough, and I'm not trying to sound like the old head here, but in a lot of ways, social media and the attention that comes with it has replaced therapy. And social media and the attention that comes with it has replaced, like you said, scarily enough, drugs. And it has replaced money. Now, what does that sound bold? Maybe. But when you think about it, and it goes back to what you just said, alluded to, there are people who would rather be social media famous than rich because the belief is if you're social media famous, riches are soon to come.
If you're smart, it would, but that's not guaranteed.
And the question is how. I mean, this is one of those things where you can't, I don't think there's a class that's going to teach you how to manipulate that algorithm. Either people gravitate towards you or you don't. One thing we do know for sure is people gravitate. The messier it is, the more unbelievable it is, the more people gravitate to you. As someone that's in the fitness industry, one of the truisms is sadly you see people who've gotten a hell of a lot of work done or a hell of a lot of taking a hell of a lot of enhancers and present this physique and they get 20 million followers. The people who are actually doing the work, who look like people who work hard, they get 100,000 followers. So we as people are fans of spectacle. We are fans of the illusion. And I don't think we tap into reality often.
What is reality?
Okay. All right, we're going Matrix here. I got you. But what is real? How do you define real? Okay, I got to put my Morpheus hat on.
I wasn't even being sarcastic. I was being serious. I don't know what the hell is real.
I mean, at this point, yeah, we're at a point where we got to question if bodies are real. We got to question if information is real.
Information.
You're right. There's a thing. But before we go down that rabbit hole, circling back to this moment, I couldn't tell you what Jussie was thinking.
What are you thinking?
You think it's that simple? Just
yeah. I know it might be a crazy thing. Like you're willing to do all this and put your life on the line. Yeah. Seen people do a lot worse and more stupid stuff on the internet.
Just see. Also, the thing I'm gonna say is that makes sense for a you or I to a certain degree. That doesn't make sense for someone that's already famous, already a millionaire, already in the public eye. Like that's where it's like, wait, huh?
You probably want some more. Honestly, he probably was, but I don't watch Empire, so I didn't know who he was until this came up. So I guess that's why he did it. So people like me will know who he is. The casual fans. I don't, like I said, man, I'm just built different. Like I said, I quote is I'd rather be rich than famous. I don't want fame. Even if this blows up, I understand that, but still want your privacy and not to be in the damn social life.
Yeah, it's not going.
I understand that. And I guess, like I said, this is the new era. Not to sound like an old head too, because beginning part of my life, we didn't have this. Second part of my life, we did. So I watched it birth and come to fruition. Same way you watched hip hop grow. I watched social media, the internet, YouTube, HD TV, 4K TVs, all this technology improve, and everyone have a voice now. And you see, it's addicting. Like people are literally addicted. It is a mental thing. How much people are addicted to this stuff. It can be a good thing, it can be a bad thing. And at this point for him, it was a bad thing. So it's just, man.
Because Because to me, this wasn't worth 150 days in jail. Like he ain't getting no 5 year, 2 to 5 bid, but
That's 4.5 months, I think.
150 days in jail.
That's
It's a little
4.5
longer than
months.
that. Yeah.
4.5, 5 months. There you go. I mean, I can't say there's nothing. You still in there. But
Right. That's like, yo, dog, you tell me I can't go to the gym for 5 months. I can't just walk outside, go grab me something to eat for what? Fam.
see, now you know how everybody felt when the thing started. You gonna tell me to stay home?
I mean, even though that's different though. That's house arrest. Like you in your house. Even that though, that's still house arrest.
That's what I thought he was gonna get, but I guess not.
Nah, big, we ain't getting that. I'm like,
Gave him 30 months probation. You might as well just gave him probation.
I mean, that's yeah. You know what? I'm with you. I knew we wasn't gonna get. I'm like, wow, but for what? It's just you look back, and it's like, for what though? And the thing is this: the next time we're gonna hear about this is when his 150-day sentence is up, and after that, we'll probably never hear about it again. So, if you're him, was it worth it? You're not a revolutionary. Like I'm game to new information. Tell me about some cause that Jussie was funding or down for, bringing attention to. I'm like, okay, you want to be the gay Tupac? I can't argue that. But as it stands right now, you the gay Tupac in your house.
You
Well, you better
gave
be the gay
Tupac
Tupac
in
in
jail.
jail for the next 5 months. And yeah,
That's the only comparison you gonna have.
right. We were joking online, like, so does that mean you're gonna come out and make a double album called All Eyes on Me Too? Like I don't what was it all for? Um, but shifting gears to a different topic with black men and some very interesting accusations. Black Panther director Ryan Coogler was recently arrested for going to a Bank of America, making a request to withdraw a sum of money larger than $10,000 out of his own account, wrote a note to the teller, and the cops were called because they thought he was robbing the joint. For those who aren't watching and are listening at home, the look on my face is one of shock, astonishment, and clear WTFness. Because I texted it to you, and your response was classic. I guess brothers ain't supposed to have that kind of money.
Not legally.
And again, with the Jussie Smollet thing, is you ask yourself, what? This takes some turns because it's like, okay, what you thought he was? So you got the brother's ID and everything else. You still, huh? But then the other piece. Now listen. I don't expect you to go full Sean King here and FBOA, blah 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 blah. But I certainly also wasn't expecting. Oh, it's cool. You know, I spoke to BOA. It should have never happened, but they satisfied it. They took care of it to my satisfaction. I'd love to know what that is, because I've been thinking since we talked about it. I am the producer. I'm the director of Black Panther. I'm the director of Creed. I got clout, like legit clout in Hollywood. I'm here filming Black Panther 2 in Atlanta. And I go take some bread out my account, little something. That's a lot of bread for a lot of people, but it's walk around money for me. And I get arrested. The cops get caught. But the only thing that's going to satisfy, they took care of it to my satisfaction, air quotes. So how much more money you gonna put in my account for me? How much higher you gonna jack up that interest rate on my account? Because
Double.
this is
Could have got me killed.
and that's the thing that's not funny about this at all. You literally You literally got good. Sir, what your thoughts on this one?
I mean, like I said, you could have got son killed for no reason. Taking money out of his own account. Yo, you know I was joking when I said that, black people can't do nothing. What help? Like, you're not safe no matter where you're at. Can't take a nap in your own couch.
Ooh.
Can't go to the store and buy normal clothes.
Ooh.
Can't withdraw money from your own account.
Don't have on hoodie and have Skittles.
Can't eat Skittles, have on a hoodie when it's cold outside. Can't drive certain cars.
Can't drive any car. Can't run down the block. Oh, my
Can't
bad.
walk. Can't run on the wrong side of the road at night.
That was a personal one. My fault. Yeah.
She's like, yeah.
What
are we supposed to do? It's just people just living their normal lives, and they just end up either in some fuck shit or dead. Now, granted, luckily nothing happened to them, thankfully, but and there's the detail that you spoke on, because I didn't know what. Like I said, I don't really try to do the whole race thing because I already know that's a freaking distraction, even though it still is a problem. It was like, yeah, the teller wasn't what you. If you don't know the story, the teller was not caught.
Yeah, the teller was not a white person.
The teller looked like him. The teller looked like him. But so he got racially profiled by himself, and like you said, it has nothing to do with the quote. Well, it does have something to do with the race, but it's more systematic than it was just being racist. And it's just like, damn, the system, the matrix is working so well. You got your own people believing that you don't make that money.
Well, remember, and that you just started it. Remember, agents can be anybody.
Yeah, they could.
Agents could be anybody.
Yeah.
And what did Morpheus say? I don't know if it applies necessarily in this exact situation, but you have to remember, most of these people are not ready to be unplugged. And some people are so hopelessly dependent upon the system that they will fight to protect it.
We about to have Matrix quotes now. We switching movies. Dark Knight is retired.
Right. It's just, the Matrix is a system, Neo. And it's like, if you replace Matrix with racism, you replace Matrix with white supremacist system, you might find some very interesting similarities if you're of that line of thinking. And the problem is, as we've always said on this show, there are going to be people who listen to sound bites and bits and pieces and, they're race guys. All they care about is black and white, da. No, what we've always tried to show you is, as I've always said, and some people I've talked to disagree with me, America has a class problem disguised as a race problem. Yeah. But we don't get to have that conversation as long as we're stuck on black and white and racism.
That's what I said. That you said more. Yeah. I think we both combined our both. You said it was a class problem. I said it was both. I was like, yeah. And you said that. I was like, yeah. It's like, I mean, two things could be true, my brother.
True. I'm still stuck at. So what could have possibly been done to make me be like, they took care of my satisfaction? It had to have involved quite a few zeros. It would have had to. And also, Killer Mike said it, and a few other folks have said it. This is why we need our own. Why are you at Bank of America, sir? Why are you not banking with a black-owned bank, sir? This is how you avoid these problems. Because you wouldn't walk into a black-owned bank and have somebody think you're trying to rob it. Because it's our fault. But, but yeah, I'm still like, it would have had to involve a very nice interest rate hike or a couple of M's to make this all go away so nice, neat, and quiet.
It might have happened. We don't know.
Because I'm like, I was initially like, wow, really? You tried to rob the bank with a note and ID? That'd have been a first.
Yeah,
That'd be the first.
that's about as smart as robbing a gun store. Yeah, that's gonna work.
Right. And then, but the fact that this is in hush hush, brushed under the rug, like, no, it's cool. They took care of it. It's all right. Bruh, really?
I'm just gonna assume because he doesn't seem like a dumb person that he has something.
Inquiring minds, but yeah, because I'm like I said, I mean, just regular dad half of the podcast. I'm like, you know what it's gonna take to make me be like, oh, we all good? Just I'm calling the president of the bank. Because it's like I get maybe part of you don't want to get the sister fired, but that's what goes back to this is systemic.
Yeah.
This is no matter who's in the system works the same. So is it racist? No, not by definition. Black people or any non-white person can't be racist. Is it racial? Yes. Because you wouldn't have did it if it was Spielberg in front of you. You wouldn't have did it if it was Scorsese in front of you. But you did do it because Ryan Coogler's in front of you. You know, I wonder if it was Jordan Peele, would the same thing happen? You know, the Morpheus moment. You think that's air you're breathing? But anywho. And in following line with the interesting accusations against Brothas, DeShaun Watson was clear. Let me back it up just in case there are folks who are international listeners. Quarterback of the Houston Texans in the NFL, DeShaun Watson was cleared of any criminal possibility of charges. Grand jury failed to indict him. Saw the press conference yesterday, and this brother was moved to the point of tears. While I can't relate because I've been fortunate enough to not have to carry an accusation such as that, I can only imagine the weight that has been lifted. Like, if this brother never plays another down in the NFL, one thing for sure, he ain't got to go to jail. And that right there is, yeah.
Oh, he's gonna play. Oh, he definitely gonna play. Teams are lining up to get him. Like, let's not. He's still young. He still was elite. They just didn't want to touch him because this is a touchy situation.
I mean, let's be real. The criminal course is going. The civil case is not going, and civil cases can break you. Ask OJ. OJ didn't go to jail, but that civil suit, yeah, you selling Heisman's and everything else. You end up going, yeah. So I get it. You won't get a felony or criminal record, but you might be broke. You might be playing, like the proverbial child support. You might be playing to pay off bills.
We'll see.
This could get ugly. Like,
it could, but in my honesty, it shouldn't. If you ain't have enough evidence to get him for criminal charges, the hell am I paying you for?
Because the burden of proof in the civil case is a lot less. The burden in the civil, you guys your mom about it. The burden in the civil case is a lot less. You don't have to prove guilt. We're not proving guilt here. Guilt is for criminal cases. Civil,
it's
a lot less burden of proof.
So that's just basically just doing it for a bag then. All
right. We'll find out. And that's where this whole thing gets very, very dicey. Because, and again, I will say this now. We are speaking as two men, as two Black men. We are not by any means trying to lessen or diminish the voice of women, and especially not women who are victims. Let me put that out there and be very, very clear.
No, but there's a difference between victims and catching a lick. And with situations like that, unfortunately, this trash ass system, it's hard to prove stuff like that. So I don't, like I said, like you said, I'm not on either extreme. I'm not on the extreme to say believe all women. I'm not on the extreme of saying it's every woman lying. I'm right in the middle. It's situation by situation. And this situation, it seemed fishy from the start, but we try to let it play through. because you hearing all these stories. Oh, they got text messages, blah blah blah. I was like, okay. Well, it turns out you couldn't even prove it for a criminal case. So it's like, so, and the civil case is still live. So it's like, well, was this all just to
Well,
catch
this
the
is this
lick?
is this is where this all gets very, very dicey, right? And this is where all of the things become a problem. Listen, to become to get to the stage of elite level, not just athlete, but elite level NFL quarterback. And if I'm not mistaken, DeShaun went to Clemson.
He did.
Let's be very, very real here. There is a culture of rape and sexual assault that gets swept under a lot of rugs when it comes to colleges, when it comes to the military, when it comes to society in
Life.
this culture,
Just say
right?
life. When it comes to
So,
life.
well, I mean, the thing is, though, I can't speak really about other cultures. The problem with this culture is it is one, what we have here is that toxic combination of patriarchy. We have that nasty spice of privilege and athleticism and wealth. We are seeing this play out in real time with Kanye, for instance. Where I'm going with that is this: when we start balancing the scales a little bit, or attempt to, because I get what you're saying, we'll try to be down the middle. It's hard to be down the middle because are there women who are out for a bag, out to get paid? Absolutely. But then you start looking at the very real statistics of how many rape cases actually get brought to court. And out of those, how many get convictions. And out of those, how many actually serve jail time. It's like minuscule,
And
right?
then there's the flip side of that. How many people are in jail or had their lives ruined? Exonerated 5. Other dude that we talked about in a couple of episodes, I think last year, about the
Mm-hmm.
dude that just got. It's like, yeah, there are people there. Like I said, this is why I said when I had this conversation with my homeboy last night. There's not guilty and guilty does not mean you're innocent or not innocent.
True.
It's
It
basically
just means
what
they
is
couldn't.
it's what you can prove or what story you can paint. There's a lot of innocent people that are locked up, but society won't see them that way. There's a lot of guilty motherfuckers that are free, but they got a not guilty, but they're not innocent. So that's why I said the stuff when it comes to this, it's hard to prove. It's messed up, and I hate it because
Yeah.
that's why I have to be in the middle because I see both sides. So it's like I don't know where's a system where we can literally, unless we just gonna put cameras every goddamn where, and there will be no privacy. At this point, there's cameras on every side of the building, everywhere you go, in your
Well,
house, everywhere. So that's the only
Carl,
way we can tell if was this assault or was this a he said she. That's the only way I can see that can logically fix this. Outside of that, it's basically he said she said. It's basically the same we go through with these damn pigs. He said she said because they can still turn off the cameras, which is so fucking stupid. But yeah, so yeah, I
I
don't.
mean,
It's
I'll put it to you like
unfortunate.
this. I agree with you, but I'm saying the numbers say this much. There are way more women who have been victims that have been unreported than there are these lying women trying to get a bag. And what nauseates me to no end is how whenever there's an accusation, immediately, like rape is the only crime where the first thing you do is blame the accuser. No other crime happens. Rape is the only kind of blames the accuser. So all I'm saying is I get what you're saying. Try not to jump to conclusions of guilt or innocence right off the bat.
You shouldn't. You're innocent until proven guilty, right? I know that's a lie because it's usually
Mhm.
you're guilty until proven innocent, but it's supposed to be you're innocent until proven guilty. So I'm
Mhm.
walking around with that mindset that will actually I'm not even saying that mindset. I'm saying what actually happened. What's
And
the truth? And
that's
we
where it gets
can
dicey.
and that's why this justice system is so freaking trash because we don't know. And there's a lot of politics behind it. Like you said, there's wealthy people, there's powerful people. So if most of that logic that goes from me and you can go out the window, can disappear. And
I mean, this,
all those women that were hurt and all that, nothingness. It's
I
almost like it
mean,
never happened.
Jay-Z
Disappeared.
said Jay-Z said two things, and it's a bar, but it's very true. You know, you said notice asylum can be purchased. It can. I got 10 passports. I ain't never going to jail. It can. Until you actually become an enemy of the US government, there is a level of income you can attain where you are pretty much bulletproof. You are immune to criminal charges. And that's the set. Asylum can be purchased. You know, you look at the people that, look at big time drug dealers. They were foreign. Pablo Escobar, Noriega, who was a friend to the US government first.
Zelda.
You look at the things that the Americans say now, but when you start talking about here, how long did it take to get Weinstein in jail? How long was Epstein dirty? Having what it started to look like, and I want to say it's an exaggeration, but we don't know. Possibly having orgies with underage girls. It's come out that Hugh Hefner, right under people's noses, Hugh Hefner in the Playboy Mansion, whole bunch of suspect shit going on.
I mean, that kind of seemed kind of obvious, but yeah, the other ones.
So it's like so the part where I'm getting at here is I get the notion of all things being equal and playing it down the middle. The sad reality of it is, though, men have privilege. Wealth brings privilege. Wealthy men have the ultimate level of privilege. Shit, if what they say is true, how long did it take to get Cosby? You see what I'm saying? So you really will it eventually catch up with you? You could argue that point, but it's hard to play it down the middle for me because the numbers, the culture, society all lend itself to saying for every one woman out there that's trying to get a bag, there could be 10, 20, 50 that have been assaulted and the shit was swept under the rug, especially when you're talking athletics. Even beyond athletics, the culture. I know of, obviously not gonna say their names, but I know of a woman that was assaulted and the cops got on the scene and asked what she was wearing, as if that should matter. I know a woman that went to a big time D1 football college school, was assaulted by one of the football players, swept under the rug. So
I get what you said.
yeah,
There's
so
examples
are
of
there
both,
cases where
and there's examples of the other ones that don't, because not everyone. I think the numbers are both higher than they should be, both of them. And the thing is, we'll never know about either
right.
unless you get
But
like,
just
because like I
it's just
said,
sad.
just because you got the anxiety rate of 5, and some people who luckily the person came out alive and faces no jail time, but that should change. But yeah, there's probably still people who served and they never came out, so that's forever stained on your name. You're that.
Yeah, and
You can't wash it off. Dripping with, well, I ain't gonna say it. That's not bad show, but yeah, driven with that. So that's why I just look in the middle, because this is obviously a touchy subject that is really hard to prove, and unfortunately, we made this. You said it, like you just might have to just start filming everything.
I mean, listen.
This is probably the good time in this era where everything has a freaking camera, including your TV, your laptop too. So yeah. You just might have to just record every goddamn thing you do. Don't share it with nobody, but when crunch time comes, if you gotta protect. Hey, what the Woo said, protect your neck. So yeah, that's unfortunately what we might have to do to. Yeah.
The funny thing. when we talk about how much crime would get eliminated if you eliminated poverty, right?
Right. I don't think
If
it'll
you gave
eliminate that though.
TV timeout, TV timeout. Think about what we just said. The biggest thing out there, the biggest accusation we have, especially when it comes to these men, is oh, she was doing to get paid. Well, guess what? If everybody was some form of comfortable or equal, kind of eliminates that. There's no financial gain here. So
Yeah, but
by
it's not.
default, you stumbled into, you know what? We
No,
can't use the oh, I'm gonna use this dude as a come up if you already got it.
it's not the see. That's for some people. The other side of that coin that no one wants to talk about is, the emotional part. Spite. You saw this with Chris Brown recently. That whole thing came out because of spite.
See, I don't know the
So
details on that. I just know last thing I saw was a headline. I can't dive too deep because I don't know the details. I just saw a headline that said that whoever the accuser was walked it back.
no, because he leaked. He supposedly leaked text messages that she thought it was one thing. He probably just wanted to smash. She was done with it, and she probably wanted more. And he was like, "Nah, it was a one-time thing." Okay, he raped me. So I was like, "Yeah, I see what you're saying." Getting rid of poverty will get a lot. Getting rid of poverty will get rid of a lot of issues. Not
Mhm.
all of them.
Not
You're
all of it.
still gonna have murder. You're still gonna have other stuff. You probably still have assaults, like we just said. But majority of the issues will just go away.
Yeah, yeah.
So
Um,
yeah, that's it.
yeah, it's just wow, man. That's a tough one. Shifting gears to the world of music. Um, Benny the Butcher dropped Tana Talk 4 a few days ago. I've heard a couple cuts off of it. Um, this ironically, and I don't think it was accidental, but 10 More Commandments dropped a few days ago. 10 More Commandments is a actual sequel to Biggie's 10 Crack Commandments, which, like I said, the time is interesting, which doesn't shock me because Biggie Smalls, Notorious B.I.G, the blueprint for Brooklyn rappers in a lot of ways, died March 9th, many, many years ago. Year after you were born, actually, 97. So I guess it's a nod and ode to Diddy is actually on the track. It's I don't know, man. I don't know if it's because I'm a quote unquote old head or because I'm just tired or because I think too much or maybe it's a confluence of all. But I listen to 10 More Commandments and it's like, remember how we always say you gotta turn your brain off? It's getting hard to turn my brain off because I'm like, this cat literally went through 10 commandments, 10 more commandments of crack dealing while wearing what looked to be all possibly in the millions, $100,000, hundreds of thousands of dollars worth of jewelry. And the end of the track is a little monologue from Diddy talking about, ownership and black unity. And the black man is God. And since we come from black women, what does that make black women? And I'm like, huh?
That's a walking contradiction, my boy.
Okay, so even you at your age get it. Because I'm like, I'm and again, I'm curious your thoughts on it because as someone that's almost as old as hip hop was born in the late 70s in the world's greatest city, to BX. We all know this, Cedric Ave. Got it, right? But then there's this age of reality rap. And I'm talking about reality. Everybody's a crack dealer. Everybody got to connect. Everybody get their coke off the boat. And I'm like, it's just the first drug rap that I can remember was NWA's Dope Man. And that was interesting because at the time, you couldn't really tell if it was autobiographical or really a really well-crafted tale, or maybe a bit of both. But from that point to this one, I'm just tired. And while it is a nice ode to Biggie, like we didn't need the 10 crack commandments then. For the record, they kind of got some hot water for sampling Chuck D's voice for that shit. Chuck D from Public Enemy. He was not real happy about using his voice for 10 crack commandments, if you know what Public Enemy stands for.
I'm about to say I would be upset too.
But it's just I'm listening to this, and again, maybe it's me, my inability to turn my brain on, but I'm like, how did you just give me 3 minutes of street shit and selling crack, and then I got a minute and change of Diddy talking about black ownership and black unity? Make it make sense.
This is
And this,
when your gangsters turn political.
and it's just the separation of art and artists. The it's a chasm now, and I don't necessarily know if I sit where everyone else sits. We applaud Jay for what he's become, and we applaud Styles P and some of these other rappers for going quote unquote legit. But your music, your art, if you will, is loaded with the things that ail us. And I'm tired of this. Oh, it's just reality rap. But then when the feds and whoever tries to use your lyrics against you, oh, it's just entertainment. And it's just like, it goes back to something you said. If you had to explain this shit to an alien, you're gonna look real stupid. It's not gonna make a lot of sense. Like I thought I was talking to my boy Black, one of our friend of the show, my boy Black that was a guest a while back.
Shout out to Black.
Shout out to Black. We were talking about Jay-Z's verse in Big Pimpin'. I'm betting he looks back at that now and cringes. Like, ooh, but you wrote that. You know why? Because I don't fucking need them. And I'm like, you listen to that, like,
yeah, you listen to that, and then you listen to 444. It's two different people. I mean,
that.
people are allowed to grow and change.
And I'm okay.
So
You're absolutely right. But how is your start point disrespecting black women? How is your start point the very thing that got our families broken up with crack?
That's the system.
That's what I'm like.
That's the system. Okay, back then he was alive and in the shit. You now, if a rapper starting off like this now, then it's like, okay, why? This is not the crack era. And then it's the pill era. Where so it's like, why are you rapping about crack? Who's still selling crack? But nah. I get what you're saying. Well, at least with Jay, he's a special because he did a complete 180. I think Royce did a complete 180.
Well, Royce was never about murder, kill, I sell, wait.
Yeah, but it was still dissing women though. Like him, and he wasn't as bad as M back in the day.
Right.
He actually did at 180 too. Because like I said, it's some of the stuff that M, Royce, all of them said back in the late 90s and early 2000s. Like you cannot say that now ever in your life.
which is for the good though.
So, no, it is. Like I said, that's why I say it was a different time back then. That stuff has changed, whether you agree it's for the better or for the worse. But times have changed, or the climate has changed. Times ain't really freaking changed. Some stuff is still the same. But yeah. So I can't necessarily fault Jay because it's not like he's like certain other rappers, like we just mentioned, like Pusha T. I love him, but damn. You've been rapping about coke for like 20 plus years. And you probably haven't touched that in 20 plus years. So it's like I don't, so rappers like that's where it bugs me. It's like you don't live that life anymore. And if you do, you trash this shit on yourself.
Right. What is wrong? Like that's what I'm saying. Like I say that to say I was on fire about listening to Tana Talk 4, but then I was like, is it really gonna be just another 12 tracks of
lame ass beats?
Stop, yo. I mean, if this is, one, this ain't lame. So there's that. But is it just gonna be 12 more tracks of crack sales and my connect and my plug? And I'm in my 40s. I'm just getting tired. Like, give me something creative.
Well, you don't gotta listen. That was also my other argument that we disagree about. You ain't gotta listen to it because I'm not.
I put it, but then you go back to which is it, man? We gonna be about black unity and uplifting our people or not? Which is it, man?
You talking to me or him?
We gonna just in general. That's a general statement to anybody who got melanin in this country. We gonna be about it or not? We gonna be Bumpy Johnson or we gonna be Nat Turner? Which is it, man? We gonna be Harriet Tubman or we gonna be Frank Lucas? Which is it? Because I can't see any way we gonna be both and actually get the change we looking for. Which is it?
You had to be both. Sometimes the thing called necessary evil. I don't think this is one. I'm just saying.
I just look at, we talked about it after the movie came out, Judas and the Black Messiah. I have fallen woefully short of the life and determination of a Fred Hampton. And I'm like,
ahead of his time.
But it's like, to believe, remember, Fred came after Huey and Bobby, right? And eventually got to the point they were more afraid of Fred than Huey and Bobby.
Because Fred was dangerous. He was a combination. He was a combination of the two heads we usually talk about.
So let's ask ourselves a question, because a little personal bit on my life for those who don't know. I didn't grow up with my dad. I didn't grow up with really many mentors at all that I could reach out and touch. So what I've done is tried to ask myself, am I living a life that Fred would be proud of? That if I was sitting across from Harriet's spirit, she wouldn't shake her head. Am I living a life that is the spirit of Nat Turner? You see what I'm saying? And the innovation, the intelligence of W.E.B. Du Bois. Am I living that life? And my question, maybe that's just my stand, but the question is, you think if Benny the Butcher sat in front of Fred Hampton's ghost, Fred's ghost would be like, yo, that's what's up? I'm gonna go probably not. Call it just a thought. Just a thought. You think if Pusha T sat in front of Harriet's ghost, she'd be like, right on. I'm gonna go probably not. So, and it's like, it's art. I don't know how artistic it is, but it is art by definition. It's like Southern rap, like trap music, drill rap. It's art. I don't know how artistic it is, how innovative it is. It is art, but it is not artistic in certain ways. That is my opinion. But what we gonna do, man? We gonna be Fred or we gonna be Bumpy Johnson? We gonna be Nat Turner or we gonna be Frank Lucas? What's it gonna be? Because
they be both.
How? Those two things don't reconcile each
other. He did
How?
it. You just said he was rapping about this, and then at the end of it, put Black Unity. So he's doing it. So what do you mean how? He did it.
Because the one thing contradicts the other.
Humanity is a walking contradiction.
Expound. What do you mean? Expound. Well, hold on. Before I give you that wide opening ass statement, I don't think humanity is a walking contradiction unless you talk about the fact that we know better. Everything is out there to show what needs to be done, and we're just not doing it.
Oxymoron. That's why I said.
Okay.
That's it.
Right.
That's basically what I'm saying. We have all. This is why I hate humans. We have all the tools right in front of you, under your nose, right in front of your eyes, and yet we still do and make the same stupid ass mistakes over and over and over and over again, to the point where it's just oxymoronic. It's just oxymoron, or there's a walking contradiction. That's why I said the alien, go back to the alien thing. If you try to explain this to an alien, they'll say, okay, why? That makes sense. But then that just messes up what you just said to make sense. So they're just gonna be like, you know what? Have a nice day. I'll come back another
Like
2,000
I
years.
said, yo, aliens probably ride by Earth and lock their doors. Like, nah, that's ghetto as hell.
Nah, that's the hood right there. The hood right there, the galaxy.
But I mean, that's bad. Damn, I almost feel bad because we did say we got to touch on Biggie Smalls, Notorious Big. Sadly was killed March 9th. Um, you of course weren't alive yet, but I remember exactly where I was when I first heard Ready to Die. We was on our way to play football. I was finally old enough to where, I had a couple homeboys that actually got their first little hoopties. So we were just, happy to be in a car and playing our own music. We had to listen to the oldie station with our parents. And my man threw this shit in. And remember back in the days, we had braids. I'm like, oh, very first track of Ready to Die. Things didn't change. I'm like, yo, what the fuck is this?
I had braids too.
And then and then Give Me the Loot. I'm like, did this cat just do a feature with himself? Like, yeah, I remember very vividly the first time I heard Ready to Die, and I'm like, what the fuck? So imagine my shock when the first single was Juicy. I'm like, unpopular opinion, especially unpopular New York opinion. I'm not a fan of Juicy.
We already said this. Did we say this on
Yeah, I
there?
know. I
I'm
think
not
we might.
either.
I don't remember. I get it, but no,
I'm not
because I
either.
haven't heard the CD. And then the first time I heard Big was on Jolly My Baby. So yeah, I'm like, okay, so nice, all right, cool. And the first single was Juicy. Eh. And then now when you wrapped it back around, you came with Warning. I'm like, okay, all right. One again nominated for what the hardest one verse song ever. Warning, um, Paid in Full, and another entry by the way. Oh no, it's not an entry. Damn. I was gonna say ninth verse thought, but ninth versus thought, but that's two verses. But yeah, Ready to Die, and the mark he left on hip hop is indelible. It is not without some very honest controversy because honestly, people will fight you on it, but he did usher in the bling era. However, I stayed Gucci down to the socks. And you listen to Juicy, it's nothing but materialism. Now, I had a debate with my homeboy. He was like, materialism has been in hip hop since there was hip hop. You go back to the 80s, you had the big gold chains and all the gold fronts, but on a grand scale, who took it from a gold chain here and there to ultimate materialism? It was Big. It was Versace shades and name brand this and white name brand that. So that was 94-ish, 94. And then you turn around and Cash Money comes with bling bling, and here we are, super hyper materialism. Because hip hop for a minute, like it was New York, it was grunge. It was first down bubble coats. It was Timberlands. You know what I mean? Of course, you had a gold chain, but it was baggy jeans and Timbos, 40 below. So it wasn't all flashy and shit. And Big brought the flash. But yeah, it was interesting. And rest in peace to Christopher Wallace. It was a sad day for hip hop. Um, definitely took an L. But from your standpoint, what's your thoughts, sir? Like you weren't even born yet, so your thoughts are Big.
I mean, he's a legend. Get to see you. You didn't get to see him mature and fully
Mm,
grow. I mean, he
mm,
still died pretty young.
yeah,
So, like I said, me personally, I think his projection would be similar to Jay's.
fair.
That's how I think. I don't think he wouldn't went the Pusha T route and just kept rapping about what he was rapping about when he first came in. I think he would have took the J route. And but we never got to see, so we'll never know. That's just all speculation. But that's just my opinion because they're obviously similar rappers. They were boys, same borough. So I was like, but yeah, rest in peace to him. Like I said, you know your all time great when you got one album and people still consider you the GOAT of New York.
Two. But yeah.
Oh, right.
You just forgot ready to die. You just forgot about life after death, huh? Just forgot.
Yeah, I did.
Wow.
But okay, one classic album. There you go. And then
Ooh, don't say that in Brooklyn. Please don't say that in Brooklyn.
okay, that's it.
They will fight you.
Hey,
Don't say that in Brooklyn.
that's it. No disrespect to me. I don't think he's the GOAT of New York. That's just my opinion. See, we had that conversation. That's a whole nother topic. He's top three. He's top three. I think he's like the cream of New York rap. It's like you're a GOAT, but no one's gonna mention you as a GOAT. You know what I'm saying?
And I reiterate what it
unless you live in Brooklyn. Like I said, for Kareem, unless you're a Laker.
Not even.
Well, not anymore because of Kobe, but before Kobe.
That was the worst rhyme I ever heard in my life because the greatest rapper of all time died on March 9th. That's cannabis, sir. That's cannabis, sir. Second round knockout.
Yeah.
So I'm just saying. Just saying.
That's it. This is my opinion. If somebody, I'm not gonna fight for somebody. I'm not dying on this hill.
Yeah. I mean,
if somebody says Big is the greatest rapper out of New York, I'll be like, all right. I mean, he doesn't have to catalog the other two people that I'm thinking about, but he died.
Don't leave us in suspense, sir. Who are you talking about?
Well, obviously the one we was just talking about, Jay. But to me, number one is Nas.
Ooh. There's an argument to be had there. There's an argument to be had there. The only thing I'd say is with Big, especially, and this is one of those time capsule moments, you have to really know your hip hop history. Big was an amalgamation. What made Ready to Die special was it was an amalgamation of the greatest at the time. It was LeBron-esque, and here's what I mean. You took the storytelling ability of a Slick Rick. You took the straight up raw gangsterism of a G-Rap. You took the smooth player ability of, say, a Big Daddy Kane with a splash of LL. You know, so it's like you Big in a way was a combination of some of the best. And then of course you had the lyrical ability and the flow capability of a Rakim to a certain degree.
Like I said.
So you took all of the great stuff and put it in a pot, and then you got Big.
Yeah, no, that see, like lyrically, like just pen game. I'm not even gonna really say artistry because I think Nas and Pac has him on that. But just lyrical ability, flows, everything you just said, storytelling, he's probably the greatest to ever do it. So I can't take that away from him. I'm just saying, in my opinion, and it's only this opinion because he didn't get a chance to update his resume. He like I said, he dropped 100 points and then died. That's basically what he did. We wanted the repeat. We wanted to see what was going to do next. We didn't get to see it. So that's the only reason why. It's not because I honestly believe if he was still alive and he still had to update his resume, he would probably be the GOAT and it wouldn't even be questioned.
Yeah.
But since circumstances happen and you still had Nas, you know, in my opinion, still dropped the greatest album of all time, probably second next to it was written. And I haven't listened to the last.
I gotta listen to Magic.
I didn't listen to all the way. I listened to half of it, and that's another classic towards belt. Unless he just screws up the last part, which I don't think he will. So he still won a Grammy for Kings Disease. He's the first one. I didn't listen to it, so I don't know if it's a classic.
I think I made it through. I still gotta get it. I still gotta get through all of King's Disease too. I know I'm late to the party.
I did too. It was a good album. I wouldn't consider it a classic. But Magic seemed like a classic. I haven't listened to the first King Disease. So Nas has a lot of classic albums to his belt. Jay does. So, and lyrically, they're all kind of on the same tier. So it's like, and Nas' storytelling is freaking ridiculous. Biggie's too. But
Mhm.
yeah, that's personally why I would say Nas 1, J 2, and Biggie 3. That's my list. But yours are probably different.
No, I think in all time rankings, I think Nas and Jay are 1 and 1A for different reasons. But I think Nas and Jay are 1 and 1A. Yeah, I think Nas and Jay are 1 and 1A for different reasons. I think Jay is the future of hip hop, which is a scary thought. But he's what grown man rap looks like. What rapping in your him and Nas both know what rapping in your late 40s, early 50s looks like, and you can still be relevant and have something to say.
Yep.
But yeah, like you said, sadly, we didn't get to. This is Bo Jackson.
Yep.
What happens if Bo doesn't blow and pull his hip out? We'll never know.
Never know.
But Bo had enough talent that we could
Saw it.
safely say he was one of the greatest athletes to ever live.
Yeah.
We got, one classic album and another double album from Big toward hip hop. We never got to see what would happen next. But there's enough material there to say he was one of the greatest to ever do it.
Yeah. No,
Um,
no argument there.
yeah. But when we look at it through the real lens, it is not without flaw, but it is not flaws that everything else doesn't have. Is the best I can say. Like I said, it's just the interesting thing because we give Big a pass on, you know, some very questionable lyrics. Some very questionable lyrics, but I guess in a lot of ways, you get a lot of people to pass on questionable lyrics. Big got some real questionable lyrics though. If you listen to Me and My B, it's like, I'm sorry, what? I'm sorry, what? Okay. But yeah,
Different time.
sad. Yeah, I mean, it's certain lines like the cannabis line. We didn't know that line when age well.
It
For
did not
those who
age well.
don't, for those who don't know, and I'll maybe because I'm from the era, it don't matter, but that's still a hard ass line. But now it just has different meaning.
Oh, I was still old enough to know that even like my younger ages, you can still say it. It's just I'm
Yeah,
saying
so
from
but,
20
because it's a
from
line in second
2010 and
round
on,
knockout.
you could not say that.
It's a line in second round knockout where cannabis is like, um, somebody that he gotta know is better than him, but he feeling himself because he got more cheddar than him. Well, let me tell you something. You ain't got more cash than me, but you ain't got the skills to eat a nigga's ass like me. And I'm like,
Can't say that.
fast forward to 2021,
You can't say that.
that can be
Pause.
problematic.
Pause.
That can be problematic.
Yeah.
Big has a very what, but Big has a line. Even at the moment, I was like, wait, what? Like, I don't know, dog. I don't know if I met a woman that looks that good. Like, but yeah, the very first bar of Me and My B, and I'm like, okay. But all right, let's run it back and recap it. The case of the African Joker and Jussie Smollet. 150 days, man. You gotta ask yourself, was it worth it? Um, Ryan Coogler in the bank. I'd still love to know what they gave you to make you say, hey, this, or allowed you to say, hey, this is all good, man. It's just a misunderstanding. Salute, homie. I hope it was a double-digit interest increase or a couple M's in the bank on the low, because it's 2022, man. This shit shouldn't be happening. Um, DeShaun Watson. I'm glad you won't be facing jail time, unless, of course, you really were getting real handsy with these masseuses. We may never know now.
We don't. We won't.
We may never know, but that civil suit can be a bear. That civil suit can be a bear. Um, Tana talk for, like I said, I was glad to hear. Like I said, when you turn your brain off and you listen, which you got to do with a lot of hip hop, when you turn your brain off and listen, it's just classic Beta Butcher. And no, the track is not trash. The track
You
is
hear
not
the rest
trash.
of the album. That's one.
Stop, yo. I think it's 2 joints out. Because I heard a joint with him and Conway, so it's 2 joints out. And that track was kind of shaky.
See,
But stop, yo, stop. For those at home who don't recall, Beta Butcher sadly has this track record of his last album just picking some real questionable beats. But
Questionable.
It's like
You and I can have made a better beat.
I wouldn't pick that beat, but I also don't have Benny the Butcher's skill level. But I wouldn't pick that beat. But anywho, but Tana Talk 4, when you turn your brain off, first couple cuts are dope. It was a hell of an old. And then lastly, rest in peace to Christopher Wallace, aka Biggie Smalls. Yeah, that's what I got. Your recap, sir.
All right, just Jesse. Yeah, like you said, I agree with you. Hopefully, it was worth it. If not, you living your life as Tupac now. You're behind bars.
God damn.
Ryan Coogler. I hope you got some M's interest rate off the booty. And you just, yeah. DeShaun, yeah. Like I said, this is touchy. So I'm still in the middle with this. So I'm never going to be on extreme of anything unless I really need to. But other than that, be in the middle, and we will never know what really happened, unfortunately. So hopefully the truth that was the truth, and nothing really happened. But we don't know. So yeah. But we didn't talk about Tana. I didn't listen to that yet, but I'm scared. I got PTSD. So I don't want to listen to a 12 track of trash beats and somebody rapping very well about how much coke they had. It's like, yeah, if I want to hear some coke rap, just push a T. Go listen to Diet Coke. Have you listened to that? That's all.
I have,
That beat
and
is
I
beat is crazy.
Eh.
That beat is crazy. I'm saying if you talk to him about, y'all talk about the same stuff. Talk to him about producers. It might, you know what? Never mind. I'm not gonna say. You might be putting your mans on or something. Never mind. Keep doing what you're doing. Don't mind me. RRP the Biggie Smalls, man, one of the goats. Like I said, we'll probably have this as a topic. I'm probably gonna piss a lot of people off, and I probably can't go back to Brooklyn or New York City, but it's cool. I don't want to go there anyway. So yeah, and remember, we don't mean no harm. We truly mean all the disrespect.
All of it. So yeah, on behalf of us both, thank you for tuning in yet again. We will see you all same bat time, same bat channel. We will talk about the Batman next week. But on behalf of you, I said it. Peace.
Yeah.